Alec Burks guarding it from the start. Wiggins again. Here's Curry for the record. It's good! And there it is!
That man just broke the all-time NBA three-point record. Coming into this NBA season, there were a lot of hype things that we were all waiting for, and one of them was being Steph Curry breaking the all-time three-point record. Now with Steph Curry being the greatest shooter of all time, I think we all knew that he was gonna break the record in his career, but this season for sure. Now don't get me wrong, I think after 2 or 3 seasons of him breaking out, we all assumed that he was going to break the record one day, but I don't think a lot of us actually knew how fast. Because what Steph Curry has done will probably never happen again in the game of basketball. Will somebody break his all-time NBA three-point record? Probably. I mean, records are meant to be broken. I mean, with the way kids are now shooting the basketball and it's being taught as a skill that you need, not just shooting mid-ranges, but a three-point shot, it's inevitable that someone is going to break that record. And with Steph Curry being 33 years old, God knows how long he'll be able to keep going, because in all reality, you don't lose your touch with shooting when you get older. I mean, Ray Allen was around 40 when he comes to making three-pointers, but his consistency is through the roof. Steph Curry has an all-time three-point percentage of 43.1%. However, if he was to miss 500 straight threes, the man would have a better three-point percentage than Ray Allen, who has a three-point percentage of 40%. And with him on average shooting the ball about 9 times a game, if he were to do that, he could literally miss every single three-point shot throughout the whole season with a three-point percentage of 40.1%. In his total career, Ray Allen played 1,300 NBA career games. However, Steph Curry has played far less with 789, meaning that it took 61% of the games that Ray Allen had to play to break that record. But don't think that's the only crazy milestone Steph Curry is about to hit. In fact, at the time of recording this video, Steph Curry has 2,978 three-pointers to his name, meaning he needs 22 more three-pointers to hit 3,000 all-time NBA threes, which if you cannot tell by now is a milestone that has never been hit before. And according to all statistics, if he stays consistent, it will probably take him about a week or 2 to hit that milestone, meaning that maybe versus the Phoenix Suns, he could probably break 3,000 three-pointers made on Christmas. However, some of Steph Curry's accomplishments you can't even put on a stat sheet or as a milestone, because what Steph Curry has done as a player has changed the game of basketball forever, at least for until a new meta comes. Now the NBA has just reached 75 years of basketball, and for a good majority of those years, the game was played inside with layups and bank shots. And even when we got to like the 1980s and 1990s, we started to move around to the mid-range until around 2014, 2015 to mid-2010s when we had this dude named Steph Curry who decided to light up everyone from three-point. Now obviously Steph Curry was not the first great three-point shooter, I'm not saying that. See, we had designated three-point shooters like Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, Kyle Korver. I mean, all of those players were strictly known for making three-point shots. Could they score that somewhere that wasn't the three-point mark? Of course they could, but all we cared about from them were just three-point shots. I mean, Ray Allen literally got recruited to play with LeBron in the Miami Heat just because of his three-point shot. Mind you, he was only a couple seasons away from retiring from the NBA. Nowadays, there's really not that many designated three-point shooters. In fact, if you don't have a three-point shot, your ability to play is questionable. However, there still are some designated three-point shooters like Buddy Hield and Duncan Robinson. I know I'm probably missing some guys, but still, if you want to play high school or college or even NBA basketball, you need to be able to do 3 things. You need to be able to be a playmaker, you need a decent frame, and you need a jump shot, which is why a guy like Ben Simmons is getting eviscerated right now because he can't shoot the ball. But 20 years ago, this would have been okay. I mean, every single prospect, every single player, even if you're 7 foot and you don't need to shoot threes, you need that ability still. I personally know people that did not get a scholarship just because they couldn't shoot the basketball, but they could do everything else. And at the rate we're going at, we're probably going to have seasons where kids score 500 to 600 to even 7 three-pointers in a season. We're going to have times where kids break the three-point record in game with maybe 20 three-pointers. And someday, because of Steph Curry, maybe the three-pointer won't even be that big of a deal, but we'll have the 4-pointer or 5-pointer. I mean, not too long ago, the NBA brought up the idea of a 4-point line, and the Atlanta Hawks even train with it in their facility. good. In fact, the NBA 3-point contest even went as far as implementing it into the contest. So maybe in 10 to 20 years, Steph Curry is going to set another milestone for all-time 4-point shots. And maybe the NBA 3-pointer won't be that big of a deal in 10 to 20 years. But what Steph Curry has done is something that we haven't seen in a long time with a guy like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan changed the way that we play basketball in so many different ways. And Steph Curry is now changing the way that our future generation is going to be playing the game of basketball. I mean, damn, when I was in 5th grade, I remember when Steph Curry just started to break out and everyone in my grade was trying to shoot threes. Mind you, we're like tiny little 5th grade boppers who could barely even shoot a free throw. I mean, if you could make a 3-pointer in the 5th grade at that time, you were practically the best player in the school. Even nowadays, I've seen several clips of people having wide open 2-pointers or layups, but they go for the 3. And I think we all hate to admit it, but seeing this 6'2", tiny light-skinned guy that can shoot the ball and just mess with everyone is fun. And for a player that can guard him like Mikal Bridges or even Matisse Thybulle, they're gonna get a lot of credit and be seen as an all-NBA defender. Those are just 2 people I can think of on the top of my head that have been able to guard Steph Curry. I know there have been people before, but still. Like I said earlier on in the video, I don't think Steph Curry for the rest of humanity is gonna have the 3-point record. Maybe one of you guys watching this video, you grow up to be an NBA star and you break that record. It's inevitable to happen. There have been so many examples of old NBA players that were considered really good 3-point shooters that NBA stars today broke their 3-point record. Steve Kerr had 726 NBA 3-pointers in his whole career, but Donovan Mitchell got more than that in 4 seasons. Nowadays, if you can't make a 3-point shot, you're seen as a weird player and a player that just isn't efficient. It doesn't matter what position you play, but if it's especially point guard, you're going to get eviscerated and people are going to see you as talentless, which to me is completely unfair, especially with a player like Ben Simmons that can do every single thing except shoot the basketball. But when you're like a player like Steph Curry that can literally change the stigma of basketball for years to come, that's a scary thing. One day someone will pass Steph Curry in all-time 3-pointers made, his percentages, and his rings will eventually tarnish. But I think we can all look back and say, damn, we really saw Steph Curry break a record that we didn't expect him to break. Or damn, I just saw the greatest shooter of all time change the game. Kind of like when your dad told you how it was to watch Kobe or Michael Jordan, you're gonna be able to do the same in 20 or 30 years when you have kids, but with Steph Curry. I'm not gonna lie, when Steph Curry retires and LeBron retires and all these players, we're gonna look back and be like, damn, we really witnessed some of the best basketball players of all time. And yeah, it was annoying to see Steph Curry in the NBA Finals for 6 straight years, but